There are three huge rumors going around the entire RV industry, from dealerships to manufacturers, suppliers, service centers, banks, etc. You name it, it's been going around. And these three rumors are so big that if they are true, it will affect the RV industry in a huge way going forward. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as some other things. Now, before I launch, I just want to apologize for the sound of my voice. My voice is so bad right now. A lot of things going on in my personal life. Not going to get into it right now, but we'll just say I've started exhausting my voice a little bit and sounds a little weird. Number two, I have talked to a lot of industry insiders about these rumors, and I would not bring them up if I did not believe that for, let's say, at least 80% certain that these were going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months, okay? Especially number two. Number two is so huge that I'm going to probably, when it gets reported by rvbusiness.com eventually, if it actually finishes, I'm going to tell you, I told you so. Okay. So let's start with the first one. Sorry, I'm a little delayed. The first one is that Alliance RV has gotten a second significant offer from Winnebago. So let me go back in time a little bit. So a few months ago, I had reported on this podcast that Lance was selling. So Rev Group was selling Lance, and they were in the midst of a negotiation. Oh, by the way, a few months later, Bill Rex, baby, owns Lance. Well, at least the group Bill Rex is heading. Okay. Congratulations to them, by the way. At that time, I also had reported that Winnebago had made an offer to Alliance RV to buy the company. And now, if you listen to my podcast about 7, 8 weeks ago, I did a very short segment on it. I told you that according to my sources, the Brady boys turned it down. They were like, nope, we're not selling, right? They're out. Okay. Well, apparently Winnebago has increased their offer. Now, I don't know if they're going to take it or not. Okay. I have no clue. I have a couple of people I know that are doing some backdoor channel type of stuff because I don't personally have their cell phone number or anything of that nature to kind of see where their minds are at. I can tell you from what I experienced when they were running Heartland. This is before Thor bought it. Okay. When they were running Heartland, when they owned Heartland, Heartland was at the peak of their powers. The fifth wheels were built like absolute tanks. Yes, Alliance has had their issues, guys. I'm not going to deny that Alliance has not had issues. Shower problems. If you're on Crappy RV's YouTube channel, he does an excellent job covering his. Cruising with the Carsons. Greg Carson does, I mean, obviously, if something major is going to happen to his paradigm, if I remember that's right, that's what he owns. Obviously, he would report it. So it's not like they don't have problems, but it's not the significant problems that a manufacturer like Grand Design has had with their fifth wheels, right? So they for the most part are RV guys. And to me, I mean, I'm going to put it to you like this. When Thor bought Heartland from them, it was a stupid offer back then. Like back then, I don't remember what it sold for, but it was a stupid offer, right? And they would have been dumb not to take it. Now, if it's true that Winnebago significantly increased their offer to Alliance, and it's a stupid amount of money, I could not blame them for taking it. I'm not saying they are, okay? I'm not even saying I'm like 99% sure they are. What I am saying is, according to my sources, and my sources are deep inside the RV industry, guys, Winnebago has made a absolute significant offer, increased offer from their first one. Whether they take it or not, I don't know. They turned down the first one. I understand why Winnebago's trying to buy them. Obviously, with the bad juju going on with Grand Design and the lawsuit they're involved in, Winnebago trying to separate themselves from the Grand Design lawsuit, like, hey, that's a separate company, has nothing to do with us. There's a lot of bad juju in there. So I understand why Winnebago's trying to buy them. It makes total sense. It makes absolute sense because obviously, there wasn't a lot of good blood, obviously, with this Grand Design problem, bleeding over. Would you really want to buy, another company like Brinkley, as an example, which, by the way, is a great segue, folks. Okay, now, if this is absolutely true, and I'm telling you, my sources are so sure about this that they basically said, guess what, John? In about a month and a half, you're going to get to come online and say, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Okay, sorry. So, according to my sources, okay, rumor has it that Thor is in negotiations to buy Brinkley RV. Now, I've heard some interesting dollar amounts. The highest amount I've heard so far is somewhere around 840 million. The most common number I'm getting from my sources is $670 million. Folks, if this is true, okay, and Thor buys Brinkley, then what that would tell you is the same thing I've been telling you for now 2 years. It's not a bad thing. I want to repeat that because I know I'm the blowhard, right? Oh, he's going to blowhard himself to death. Okay. So it's what I've been saying for 2 years. Capitalism is significant in the world, not just the United States, but in the world. If you look at the way a lot of investment companies, a lot of investment individuals, they do not hold on to companies or real estate or whatever you want to call it. They do not hold on to it for very long. They get in, they build it, and they cash out. And that's what these guys are known for. I've been saying it all along. That's what these guys are known for. It's not a bad thing. I wish people would stop thinking I'm telling you it's a bad thing. Some of you might think it's a bad thing. If it's true and they sell to Thor for $670 million, if it's absolutely true, then they're just doing what they normally do. It's nothing outside of the ordinary for this group of folks. It's not abnormal. Okay? It's not abnormal. If you actually look, it's actually been delayed because their timeline is usually 3.5 to 4 years. So it's been delayed a little bit. A lot of that is the economy. Thor probably finally put together the package to be able to buy it. Maybe Bob Martin finally had the package and the money to put it. Now, what does that really mean? Okay, let's say Thor buys it. Let's just say, as an example. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, well, there goes the 3-year seal warranty. Well, there goes customer service. Well, there goes this, there goes that. Okay, before you get into all that, okay, let me give you some positivity if Thor buys it. Let's say this sale is completed. Let's say that rvbusiness.com comes online and it's announced, okay? Whatever the dollar amount is. What are the positives behind it? Well, the biggest positive behind it is if you go look at the breakdown of Thor companies, they're individually run. Okay. So, and I'm going to use Keystone as an example. I like Keystone. I pick on Keystone, even though I like them. Okay. But their president, his name is Jeff. Jeff's a good guy. I don't know him personally, but I've met him. I've talked to him several times over the years. Okay. Jeff runs Keystone separate than how Thor Motor Coach is run. Jeff runs things differently than how Jayco is run. Okay. And Jeff runs things differently than Heartland and Cruiser. If you actually go look at the structure of Thor Industries, Heartland bought Cruiser RV, not Thor Industries, right? So Brinkley is going to become a Thor company in that regard. More than likely, the Finnick boys will step aside, cash out, say adios. Probably Nate Goldenberg would probably be named president of the company or be in some kind of management capacity like Don Clark was with Grand Design. He was president and CEO. So at some point, it's going to be individually run separate from Thor. Now, does that mean the quality will go down? I can't tell you that. Will the 3-year seal warranty they supposedly are coming out with be gone? I couldn't tell you that either. What I can tell you is that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing either. Time will tell, but first the sale actually has to happen, right? There's a lot of things that I can guarantee you right now that this comment section is going to get flooded with BS comments from all kinds of Brinkley people. I'm not selling. No, it's not true. Oh my God, it's not true. I mean, I know that's going to happen, right? So, but the reality is, I'm very confident enough that to actually post this. Now, I've been sitting on this for about, just to let you know, I've been sitting on this for 3 weeks. And the reason why I've been sitting on it is because I kept getting the gauge I was getting from the banks. That's who I really wanted to get like some confirmation from, because I had RV dealerships that were just like, I mean, they were coming up with like all these ridiculous things. Oh, yeah, it's going to sell for $1 billion. Oh, it's going to do this. Oh, it's going to do that. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, there's no way Brinkley's going to sell for $1 billion. Okay. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I could see 700 million. I could see 800 million. I don't see $1 billion. Okay. So at first I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit on this for a minute. So I started investigating and making some phone calls. And I started talking to some folks I know on the manufacturing side. And I started talking about this to the suppliers, because the suppliers are really going to know real quick. Okay. And the banks are going to know pretty quickly too, because they're the ones that are going to be, doing some things. Now, of course, I'm not going to give up who my sources are. I'm not going to give up who I'm talking to personally. I'm not going to give names. I can give phone numbers. I'm not going to do all that. They are anonymous sources giving me this rumor. Okay. And when I've got over 30 people pretty much giving me the same story, I'm going to run with it. Okay. But that's a great segue into number 3. And this is probably actually more significant than Alliance and Brinkley. And the reason why is because this actually would be positive movement on the financial side of the entire RV industry. So first off, if you don't know, Wells Fargo has been a big pain in the ass to every dealership when it comes to inventory loans, which we call floor plan. Wells Fargo is so scared because so many dealers have closed up. And, first off, this isn't the first time Wells Fargo has done this, okay? But on the positive swing side, it appears that 2 banks are going to come back into wholesale and retail, meaning floor plan and retail on the RV side. And the reason why this is good is because it's going to make the interest rates probably a little bit better if they make a comeback. It's not going to make like 1% better or 2% better, but we're talking about, we could see rates that are 0.25%, 0.5% more competitive. And these 2 banks is Ally Financial, which was one of my favorite banks to work with back in the day. Okay. And number 2, bam, Arrowhead Federal Credit Union. Now, the reason why that's significant is Arrowhead Federal Credit Union was another national type of brand that we could have used as an industry back in the day before the crash, that did 240-month loans. So there's only one other credit union that actually does 20-year terms. They're called Alliant Federal Credit Union. and they're not signing really any new dealers, haven't been signing new dealers for a while, okay? But if Arrowhead Federal Credit Union does make a comeback in this industry, it will give an opportunity to a lot of folks that have a 660, 670, 680, 690 score to be able to qualify for a 20-year term on certain dollar amounts. Now we're talking probably about 50 grand or higher, 75 grand or higher, but there's a lot of folks that pay their bills on time. Okay? They pay their bills on time, but they just carry a lot of credit card debt. Now, when that happens, okay, it lowers your credit score. It doesn't mean you have bad credit. It just lowers your score. It's algorithmic, or whatever you want to call it, okay? So there's not a real place to place those people for a 20-year loan. So most of the time we can only get them 10 to 15-year terms, and we usually have to be a little more subjective to a credit union or to a subprime bank like Medallion, Marine One, or Merrick, okay, or even Aqua Finance. So the reality is that if Ally Financial comes back and Arrowhead Federal Credit Union, it'll actually help push more units over the curve. Because if Ally Financial comes back, that means we will have an express program again. From what I'm understanding, from what I've been told, again, it has not been signed on the dotted line, okay? But it is being discussed. If Ally Financial hops back into the RV and marine industry, we will have an express program, which means we can run your credit one time. If you look like you kind of be put in this little box, we don't have to send you to one bank. It'd be awesome. I miss express programs because we could just go, yep, yep, yep. Okay, you're good. Let's contract. Not sit there and go watch the little timer go on Dealer Track or whatever you want to call it, like do 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 do. So there's a lot of craziness with that. And a bonus thing for you guys. Here's a real bonus thing for you. If you made it this far, I'm actually starting an actual podcast, not about the RV industry, but about other things. That is going to be a daily podcast coming up. So I have figured out that I have plateaued. I'm not going to get any bigger than this. People come to this channel and this podcast to get information. Once they get information, they're done with my channel. That's great. I'm good with that. This is I am the max I'm ever going to be, but I'm going to keep posting. I'm going to keep making updates. I'm going to keep helping folks out. I'm going to keep supplying information because that's what I want to do. But I have started another YouTube channel that actually reached 10,000 subscribers in less than a month, and I'm going to start another podcast. So I'm going to start branching out. If you guys want to branch out with me, you're more than welcome to. If you made it this far, I'm going to tell you why I haven't been myself lately. Okay. Lots gone on in my life. And unfortunately, something didn't work out. So if I'm a little off for the next about month, now you'll know. But hey, if you look in the top right hand corner, I got all kinds of RV finance videos there for you folks if you guys are new.